you. But I'm going to go ahead and have Ms. Purdy address, kind of outline the process that occurs. This is not exactly the first time you've had to do this.
Okay, so just for everyone's understanding, we have a process in which once we are noticed of an encampment, we reach out to the sheriff's office, we reach out to HealthNet, and we reach out to the, in this instance, the city SROs. And when staff went out on December 1st to give notice of the requirement to leave, they were provided with information. HealthNet and the SROs have been going out daily and meeting with these people, trying to get them into shelter. There is shelter available. We have confirmed that. HealthNet has confirmed that. They advise that they don't want to take that particular option. So that's where we're at this point in time. We take personal belongings that are left when we do go for the cleanup, and we hold on to those for 1 week's time. And they can come and make arrangements to pick those up. That information was also provided to the people who are on the property.
Thank you. Did you have anything to add, Mr. Cobb?
I don't think so.
Okay, thank you. All right, please.
Thank you. My name is Maria Cole. I have moved here recently from Indianapolis, and I have seen the homeless situation in Indianapolis, and it is dire. And when I moved here, I thought that the city that has less of a homeless population than Indianapolis does would be a little bit more proactive than some of the people up in Indianapolis. I'm a Christian, so I'd like to speak a little bit about that. In my religion, there is this principle of preferential option to the poor. This means that we must treat the poor as kindly as possible and give them the most compassion. Now, I think that this council should move the eviction date into the spring when it is warmer out, because it is the dead of winter. It is very cold. Even I, as an IU student, am freezing out there. And these people that have less of resources than I do and don't have an option to go into a warm building when they need it, need help and should be evicted in the spring. Honestly, I don't think they should be evicted at all, but we will compromise on that. The shelters are currently full, and there are not enough volunteers. In fact, I think that if you guys are concerned about it, as you say you are, I think you should volunteer yourself to go and volunteer at these shelters. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please. Thank you.
Hi.
Please give us your name and family residence, and you can present.
Heather, Morris County. You mentioned earlier that people have been informed that there are shelters. Are you aware of the reasons why people don't take shelters when they're offered? There are good reasons. Are you aware?
Please continue with your comments.
I'm asking a question.
We don't engage in dialogue, we listen. We don't want to be distracted by anything, we just want to listen.
That's the same. There are good reasons not to go into shelters. You've heard them all before. You're hiring people to clean up trash. That's what it said on the Bio 1 job offering, right? The trash that they are going to clean up is somebody's entire life. They have very good reasons for being out there. One of those reasons is that the shelters are shit. You know that. Don't kill my goddamn friends. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Amara Briscoe. I have been a resident of Monroe County for the last 5 years. When I first got to Bloomington, I was homeless, and I went to stay at the shelter friend's place. It is very hard to get into the shelters. most of the time, especially at Friend's Place, it is a first come, first served basis. A lot of people do not have transportation, especially the homeless, and they are not offered a lot of resources for that transportation. It is freezing outside, and I am an epileptic, and I have had multiple seizures, let alone this week having seizures back to back due to the cold. People are freezing outside, and people have lost their lives due to the cold. It is not right or fair for them to be removed from where they live or from where they stay safe at. So I am personally asking and requesting that the due date for the eviction to be moved closer to spring, or at least to spring, so that it is warmer and there's not as many people at risk of losing their lives. People at the camps aren't trashing the camps on purpose. They do not have the resources they need to keep their belongings safe. And every time there's a camp eviction, if they do not release the camps by the time that the people in the city want them to, their belongings are taken, and there is nowhere safe for them to put their belongings. It is not fair for you to say that you care about the people in the city, but it doesn't seem like the homeless people are being cared for or are getting the support that they need. So I am requesting, personally, since I have been homeless in Bloomington before, that the evictions be moved to spring. Thank you.
Good morning, Seth Monroe, President of Monroe County. I think the people who have spoken before me have all said really powerful things, so I will just say that I stand with a lot of the things that have been said. I will also ask you to stay the eviction until the spring. I understand there are policies in place, but I think it's just very clearly a moral issue and an ethical issue, and I don't believe we do that. I do see that we have sort of two things going on right now. We have a huge crisis, this eviction, and we have a chronic condition of homelessness in our community, and I will encourage you to both stay this eviction, which is the acute crisis, and I will also encourage you to please, and all county government, to please focus on making it so that we don't reach these acute crises in the future. That's an investment in services. I hear the people that have spoken before. I have not been volunteering with the folks in the unhoused camps. I think that is incredibly important work. So I would give thanks to every single person who has been doing that work. Since I've not been doing that, I hear them. I hear there are valid and really important real reasons why this needs to be stayed. So I want to echo that. And ask you to please stay the eviction until the spring. Thank you.
My name is Joseph Callahan. I've lived in Monroe County for many years now. Many years ago, I used to be more involved in issues like this. I don't know any of the people that have spoken today, but I find them very inspiring as I've gotten further away from these issues. I'm not homeless, and that's really a blessing, and I'm not sure if you haven't experienced it, if you understand what a blessing it is. I've been shoveling snow lately, and the pain that I feel in my hands and feet is something I can escape. I know this isn't easy. There aren't simple answers to these questions. I know that nobody wants to cause harm to others in this way, but do. I want to do things on my own. I don't want to be a burden to others. And to be under someone else's roof, under someone else's rules is not something that everyone's prepared for. The sanctuary of these camps might not look like much to someone from the outside, but if you have a place you know you're going to sleep every night and the layers to keep warm to do so, that's a terrible thing to be taken away from you if you don't have anything else. And I understand that those things can be picked up, but if you don't have a car, you don't have a home, and you don't have any money, 1 week is meaningless to try to do something like that. I hate public speaking, but I saw this was happening, and I just felt a weight in my heart to speak on this issue. So I stand with these people, and I hope that you can at least hold off. Thank you.
You've already spoken. We only have one public comment period per person. So-
I just want to reiterate that there are only a few
Yes,
days
sir.
left
Sir?
before these evictions
Sir,
happen.
you've already spoken and you've had your 3 minutes.
Are y'all going to take the step of voting on this today or not?
Thank you so much.
Are you going to vote
Thank you,
today or
Mayor.
not?
Thank you. We do appreciate everybody coming out today, and we know that we agree it's not a simple issue. We have public safety concerns, we have public health concerns, and it is not a simple issue. As I have received calls from people who have wanted us to postpone this decision, I've also received calls from neighbors who are grateful that this is moving forward because their own peace has been disrupted. So, but there is a
Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. 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 Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. 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 There will be an answer, let it be.
commissioners just stated that they are choosing residents' comfort over our unhoused neighbors' actual health and lives. They've said that they have received calls from residents saying that they want people evicted for their own comfort, rather than considering the actual health ramifications of evicting people in the winter. People who just got to these camps a few days ago, people who have been there for over a year now, expected to carry all of their possessions by hand, by foot, which is impossible in this cold. To what location? People don't even know. They also gave a blatant lie that they have enough shelter space for everyone. We all know that that is beyond any reasonable statement at all. So, anyone who is in this room, I expect that we hold our ground and demand that they put a stay on this decision. No matter what, no matter how much they may try to push through this meeting, no matter how much they try to steamroll that demand, they have not given any valid reasons for having this eviction in this winter, nor have they given any comment on the health concerns that we have raised at all and that people are experiencing on the ground. So anyone in this room, we are going to hold our ground no matter what until they make that decision to stay the evictions.
I'll speak behind you because I'm not going to speak in front of you, but the lies told by the commissioners are apparent. I spoke with Brian Giffen, the head of Bloomington Homeless Outreach, 2 days ago to ask about shelter capacity. He said it was a critical mass. There are not beds as Lee Jones would have you believe. The shelters are full. There are not resources. These people do not have cars. They cannot drive to where their possessions are, held by the Highway Commission miles away from RTA. Cops are not bound to SB 197, which requires them to help relocate homeless folks within a 5-mile radius. These services have not been offered. A notice given with 7 days grace is technically by the letter of the law, but within 2 inches of snow, lack of thermal protection via clothing, and lack of resources, a move is not possible. The social services and Health Net do go out there. I spoke to representatives from Health Net as well, who are ardently, generally against camp clearings, especially in the dead of winter. Why? Because we have seen a pattern of death and destruction. We work actively with folks missing fingers, missing toes, and losing lives. This is not some conjured up spook fest. This is the reality of people living outside. I implore you, bundle up as warm as you can. Put hot hands in your gloves and your boots and stand outside for 1 hour and watch that heat fade from your body as it's ripped from your chest. And then stand for another hour, and then another hour, and then another one. And understand the reality of people who will be forced into that for how many days on end.
I want to talk about fear and what fear does to people that don't actually engage with their community. This past year, my partner and I installed what we thought was a little more valuable than those free little libraries you see all over town. We put a box up in our front yard that holds basic necessities. It started out with tissue packets and tampons, condoms, Narcan, and then it grew. It has snacks, it has tarps, it has hats and gloves and hot hands, and we engage with the people that use that box on a weekly basis to ask what new materials would be helpful for them. We also started setting out snacks and candy on our front porch. And I have unhoused community members come on my porch in my yard every day of the week. I also am messy, and sometimes I leave things on my front porch that I need to put away. Tools or Halloween decorations. Not a single one of those things are disturbed or taken or destroyed or bothered. The folks who are in these communities they're your community members. They are people, your friends and your family. And they're taking the resources that I am providing because it is for them. And our friends and our community is providing because it is for them. They don't mess with things. And if you sit in your ivory towers, you sit in your comfy homes and you never talk to people, then you're afraid of what will happen. These people come on my front porch every day and you don't do anything on them. Because they're just human beings looking for kindness and warmth like the rest of us.
like my good friend here said, I implore you to try to go outside in this weather and see what it feels like. See what it feels like to be out there and want to go inside and you don't. And stay. See how long you can last in that weather. And know that you have the luxury and the option to remove yourself. But our friends that are unhoused do not. And when you forcibly remove them, and you take their materials and a job listing says, and I would just like to read the direct quote of what the job listing says for everybody. Most of what we will be interacting with will be trash, so don't worry about being too picky. When you take people's materials that keep them alive and you consider it trash, you kill them. In 2020, someone died. Just this past week in the woods, someone died. A while ago, the city government and the Parks Department had an unhoused woman who was hired as a community liaison. She was working to build trust with these individuals and with the city government. And when Mayor Hamilton's administration forcibly removed Seminary Square's unhoused community in 2020 in the height of a pandemic, she quit. Because what was being said internally was not the practice of the city government. County commissioners have the legal authority to stay this eviction. Those people who are calling in and thanking the evictions because they don't like the eyesore. They're in their homes warm, and they can damn well fucking wait until the spring for trash to be cleaned up.
Our neighbors in these same camps that the city is trying to evict on grounds of there being trash, our neighbors in the camps have explicitly stated that they have been wanting to get rid of the trash in the camps the entire time that they have been living there. Why has the city nor the county not provided the means to actually dispose of this? If they gave a shit about that and weren't looking for any pretense to evict people, they would provide the means to dispose of the trash. We already know that their intentions are not to actually help people.
Show Jeremy there.
Yeah, we have all of the trash bagged up. Folks have been doing this repeatedly for years, and yet they still use this pretense to clear people out of camps because they don't actually have the people's interests in mind when they say that they need to carry out this action. As has been stated already, they care more about the comfort of homeowners in town than all the residents of Bloomington.
Please, we need quiet. We've asked everyone to remain quiet. We do have space and we've provided time for public to speak, and we've appreciated what you folks have said. And we cannot be interrupted. This is a
Why will
public
you not address
assembly.
the questions?
Ma'am, please. This is a
You're
public
here
meeting.
talking
We
in
have
the
government
community.
business to conduct.
You're elected officials.
We have heard from you.
And in
we
public
really
comment,
appreciate
you
the
refuse
fact
to comment
that
back.
folks have spoken up. But
Why isn't
we
there a
are
dialogue?
closing the public comment section for this agenda.
When will you
And so
address
we
the
ask
public comment
you to
then?
please be silent, because we do have,
Can you inform your
business to
constituents
conduct,
when you will
or
address
you
the
will
comments
be
then?
removed. You will be removed. if
I know you will, you do
don't
that
do
to your
that.
citizens.
So,
So can you
okay.
address when
So
you
thank
will?
So we will go ahead and wait and see if we can get quiet, so we can go ahead and attend to the rest of the
Can
people's
you all tell
business.
us when they
Thank you,
will address the
everyone.
public comment?
We're
Is
gonna
there a
do
forum
recess.
where they do that? When are the public comments addressed?
Will you vote on staying the eviction until spring? Yes or no?
You're not robots, you have the ability to answer the question.
Will you vote?
And hopefully feelings. I think when is a fair question.
We're asking where your structured forum for answering the public comment is. We're asking for how you do that as the county commissioners.
Will you vote to stay the eviction today?
Do you all know? Will you answer it for us? When did they address public comment? Huh?
I cannot read your mind.
We can't either.
Agenda. We're asking when public comment that's brought up to the county commissioners is addressed.
We're not leaving the room actually.
Will they add this to the agenda or not? Because the agenda does not have this right now, but there are only a few days till the eviction happens, so this is the last chance for y'all to stay the eviction and prevent the deaths of potentially dozens of residents in the camps that y'all are now demanding uproot their entire livelihoods and possessions. Will you stay the eviction?
You complain about health and safety concerns, but you made them. They want to throw away the trash. They want to be good neighbors. You won't fucking let them.
We've
You don't
also
let them
looked
throw
at
away
that.
their trash in a bin, and you won't come collect it from them. What the fuck are they supposed to do?
Angela Pradee, you spoke misinformation. I spoke with Brian Geffen, the head of homeless outreach in Bloomington. He said that shelter capacity without a critical mass, there is not space. That excuse is fallacious and dangerous. Moving the objects with an opportunity for reclamation means nothing when it's miles away with the Highway Commission and homeless folks don't have cars nor resources to retain those items. These bones thrown, scattered across the ground for homeless people to pick up, don't actually do them good because they lack the resources you take for granted. Cars, transportation, funds, public aid, and the representation of your government. It is a privilege that you have that they do not have. We must represent them, because clearly you desire to act against them in the most deadly time of year.
I understand that you have structures and that you have policies and you have the ways that you conduct business. I also understand that as representatives, you have multitudes of voices and constituents. I hear that this is a complicated and nuanced issue, and I know that as elected constituents, or as elected officials, you recognize that you will upset constituents no matter what decision that you make. But can you all sitting here earnestly say that you would rather a handful of citizens be happy with you for cleaning up garbage than you would go to bed at night knowing that the decision you've made is going to result in the deaths of fellow human beings? That can't possibly be where you sit. You can't possibly, after being elected into these positions, have lost that level of humanity and empathy. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. And I know that you want this to be easy, and we would like to abide by what you're asking. All we need is for you to say that you will prioritize this issue, you will add it to the agenda, and you will stay the evictions. That you will hear the voices of your constituents who have taken the time out of their Thursday mornings to be here and plead with you. Plead with you.
That's all we're asking for. Just tell us that, like, we can expect something, some kind of break from this fucking misery.
And help us. Help us support cleaning things up. Just this year, I've been at the camp several times, loading garbage into bags alongside unhoused community members. We have a pile of trash bags ready to go. We just don't have city and county resources to haul them out. Help
We talk
us.
about taking their personal resources and putting them somewhere for safekeeping. But me, somebody who actually has a car and is trying to help these people, I'm the person that has to go get that stuff. I can't get everybody's stuff and bring it back to them. Am I even going to be able to find them again if they get moved? I'm not going to know where they are. Why? Because they're trying to avoid y'all. They're trying to hide. You're making them hide. You're just making everything harder for them. None of this gets easier for anybody if you do this. You understand what I'm saying? Everything gets harder for these people. You gain nothing. Everyone loses. It's so simple.
I just wanted to add that the Buy One contract that was approved in July for $35,000 could fund a weekly pickup of our city's, our municipal trash cans, largest trash can size at this site for the next 25 years at the current rate. Obviously that would change with inflation, but it goes to demonstrate what, $35,000 is chump change for you guys. I know you guys approve contracts for much larger amounts all the time. If you just put a little money toward helping these people, there wouldn't be trash there. There would be sharps containers for needles. You wouldn't have these problems building up in this vicious cycle. And it's just really that simple. I know you say it's complex and there are no good answers, but that's just not the case.
When you evict a camp, you mentioned Health One. You mentioned the white shirt officers who are social workers. When you make a community that has gathered, become a diaspora, you make it incredibly harder for these people to access these resources, and conversely, for these resources to access people. Homeless individuals are often pushed to the fringes of society, dehumanized and derided. They flee into the woods away from people, scornful eyes, and the law. Not because what they're doing is a crime, but because their existence is criminalized. When people have to hide and have to flee, they cannot access health services. There is no consolidated community. The white shirts cannot check on people. There is no welfare. Actively disrupting an encampment at all is to the detriment of every homeless person, not just in the cold, but especially in the cold. If you do value the social services that we do have, because I do value them, keep the encampment intact for a little longer until we can figure out a more viable and livable solution.
Lisa, Angela, and Carly, I see that the three of you have stayed despite the fact that this is disrupting, and I know it is. I want to thank you for staying and listening, and I want to thank you for not forcing us out. I also think that it speaks to the fact that you hear that this is going to result in the death of community members, and I hope and believe that in your hearts and souls you don't support that and you don't want to. I know that you have the county policy to just stay the eviction until the spring. You can do that. You can get our phone numbers. You can work with us. We're just a bunch of random citizens who have been trying to help people, but we are also your constituents who are dedicated to making Bloomington and Monroe County a better and happier place for everybody. And I know that we've worried about health concerns and the trash, and there's always the conversations around needles and human waste. And I just really want to emphasize that when I first went to an unhoused camp, I thought that I would need to look out for where I was walking. I originally was like, you know, there's probably going to be needles, there's comorbid issues, folks struggle with substance abuse, I'll need to just be careful of where I step. There wasn't. They were intense, yeah, but oftentimes they were intense in bottles. Because folks who are dealing with these issues, who are struggling, they're not evil. They don't want their family and their friends who are in this community with them to get hurt. They don't want us to get hurt. They just need support. I'll go out there with you. I will go out there with you, and I will take trash bags, and I will help clean. We all here will do that. As long as you will help us keep our community members alive and will work with us arm in arm to find a better solution. We have so many issues in Bloomington. We talk about the housing crisis. We talk about how there's the continual installment of high-rise apartments. I've been here for 13 years. I've watched it. You all have been here for as long or longer. There are also a bunch of random abandoned buildings. There's an abandoned apartment complex near Center Step. What can we do to work on funding or to just as a community get permissions to start repairing that? We'll go in, we'll gut it, we'll clean it, we'll figure out ways to make it a housing unit for unhoused community members. It's right next to the resources. If we want to work and fix these issues, why isn't that an option? Well, and then when we ask these questions, we don't get the real answer of why it isn't an option. We get we can't take your comment right now. We can't answer your questions. Where else are we supposed to have the dialogue with you if not in the public comment section of the county commissioners meeting? And none of us knew that public comment meant no response, no answers, no dialogue. When do you as elected officials stop becoming representatives? When do you stop talking with us? The three of you are here, I think, because you agree, and maybe you don't, but you're still here and you're still listening, and that really means a lot. You're not stepping out. Please, please work with your fellow commissioners to stay these evictions. I know you have that power and I know you have that heart.
I just don't say, and we do hear you, but we're staff. We don't have any power, so, but we hear you, and we appreciate you, and it's a difficult situation for everybody. I can say that if there's an abandoned building next to Centerstone, that's in the city, the county doesn't have any authority over that. So that would be a conversation we need to have with the city.
Do you work with the city?
No, we're quite different.
Do you see there being a way in the future for county and city to create some sort of committee or board that sits to discuss these issues? Because I understand that county is different and city is different. I have my background in public works. But it's not separated, right? Like Monroe County and Bloomington are in the same space. So how do we do that? And how do we get commissioners, your staff? I know what it's like, I'm staff. You all care, you all listen, how do we get that?
Angie?
I'm talking with the staff.
I do say, I mean, I don't know Lisa Carly as well. I mean, I recognize your staff and I know that you're not, but the commissioners do respect your opinion quite a bit. And if this isn't, I'm gonna take your words at good faith, at face value. And I do think that you do hold a lot of power in this county and your words have a lot of weight. And I do think that the commissioners would listen to you. I hear you say that you don't have power and I want to kind of lift you up a little bit and say that you do have a lot of power, and power's not the right word. You do have a lot of influence and weight. Your words matter and I think they respect your opinion a lot. So I just want to put that to you. I think you do have more influence here than you may think, and I want to encourage you to consider whether this is the time to use it.
We have no power, and look at the scene we've made.
You have power.
I just want to say thank you so much for talking with us. It means a lot. I think we're at this point willing to quit disrupting for a minute. It means a lot to us that you're just willing to talk like we're real human beings. Thank you.
So you guys are welcome to stay if you don't disrupt the meeting. And I can let them know that you were wanting to stay. If you do disrupt the meeting, I'm afraid there will be officers that will come. But I can try to get them back.
When they come back, is there any way to know if they will add a vote on this or not? Because that's all we're asking for.
I don't know.
Is there any way that we can get a guaranteed answer to that?
I don't have an answer for that.
That's what we need. Just like a yes or no if they're gonna vote.
I can ask.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Angela.
What does that mean? Can you clarify what that means?
We're just in layman's terms.
And it was there, if you're going to take an advertisement, then you will. I don't know.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you for that.
So since you don't know me, Lisa's actually our highway director. And she's.
I am nobody.
This is not nobody.
I appreciate you being here.
And currently at the end there, she is the chiropractor's office. So just to introduce her.
Thank you both for your patience.
Thank you so much.
Sorry?
What's kind of a background?
That's like closest to
Meeting back to order. Get quiet, please, in the room.
Nice to meet you, Maria.
So as we encourage community members to volunteer their time if they can to help. There are no simple answers. We do have a process in place that we utilize, and I will ask my colleagues, Commissioner Burns, if you want to add. Commissioner Rear?
Excuse me, I will echo that this is a really tough conversation, and it is a conversation that's best suited too for other forums as well, and during public comment, it's usually a one-sided dialogue and not a two-sided dialogue, and that is just sort of the nature of this piece, and thank you all for understanding that. Also, I just want to reference another story that's been in the news. These situations always cause community tension, and there was a situation in Whitestown that was a pretty bad misunderstanding, and this has been in the news nationwide. There was a couple who was hired to clean a model home, and this couple came to a home, and they tried to insert a key in the door lock, and they tried to enter a home under mistaken identity, and there was a gentleman who shot the wife, the woman, through the head, through the door, believing her to be an aggressor. And that was a tremendous shame. Somebody lost their life that day. They were murdered. And this is an allegation at this point. So what I said is what is alleged. But it's a very, very tragic situation. It's a situation that could have been avoided had someone checked, had someone called police, had someone acted with circumspection. And our job as elected officials is to save as many lives as possible. And we have to balance considerations. We have to balance tensions between neighbors, and we have to balance tensions between neighbors in the camps and neighbors in neighborhoods. And our fear is that sometimes these tensions may boil over in ways that cause people to lose lives that shouldn't. So we're not just looking at lives lost because of cool weather. We're also looking at lives lost because of mental health conditions, lives lost because of recovery, and for substance abuse, and all of these things are things that are taken under consideration. So thank you for your comments. We will take all of them into consideration, and thank everyone for their patience this morning.
And we do expect quiet in this room unless you've been addressed and asked to speak at the podium or online in order to conduct the people's business. We listen to you respectfully, and we just ask the same consideration. And again, we do appreciate everybody who has contacted us with comments. We know your heart's there, and we have done a great deal in this community to try to address the core issues rather than symptoms. And we have provided millions of dollars to heading home, to vegan, and we have done our best to try to address the larger issues. And there are a number of issues that need to be addressed. You're absolutely right. But we can't solve those in a day, but certainly we need to keep working on them. And that's what we do. You want to
Yeah, I just wanted to connect you dots. I think I did not connect before. What I was referencing, that anecdote, why I was referencing that anecdote, we've had complaints from other individuals from homeowners associations that individuals were trying to get access to cars and trying to look in doors of occupied dwellings. And so my fear is that that might lead to confrontation at some point in time. Those calls have been escalating. And so I'm afraid in light of events like Whitestown that that might be here in Bloomington. And so that's always in the back of my mind lately. So that's the reason for my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so let's go on to item 6, please.
Move approval of the minutes for November 13th, 2025.
Second.
Any comments, corrections, or edits? All those in favor of approving this for November 13, 2025, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Move approval of the claims docket, accounts payable November, December 4th, 2025, and payroll November 26th, 2025.
Hey, you have a motion, you have a second. Good morning.
The accounts payable claims docket for December 4th, 2025 totals $3,506,832.78. This includes all emergency claims and adjustments. The payable docket for November 26th, 2025 includes $1,534,634.19 in direct cost, and the remaining $682,856.54 for indirect costs for a grand total of $2,277,490.73.
Thank you so much. Any comments or questions? All right. Any public comment on this item? See none. All those in favor of approving the claims docket accounts payable December 4th, 2025, and payroll November 26th, 2025, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. I will note for the record we received reports from the clerk of the circuit court for October 2025 and the treasurer's report for October 2025. We'll now move on to new business, please.
Move approval of the Purdue grant extension with Purdue University for 2026. Fund name, County General, Fund number 1,000, in the amount of $219,910.
Sorry to interrupt.
Okay, we have a...
I'm leaving, but you're
I'm sorry,
committing murder.
please,
You will be held to account socially and morally. You are committing murder.
Please.
You three are committing
You will be asked to be removed.
murder.
You will be
Your
asked to be
constituents will
removed.
hold you to account.
You will be asked to be removed. Thank you. I apologize for that.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Audrey Cohen, and I am the County Extension Director for Purdue Extension here in Monroe County. And I'm just asking for the approval of contractual services and a reminder that it is an agreement that county has with Purdue, that in turn, with you all funding Purdue Extension in our county, we will in turn provide our services in the areas of agriculture and natural resources, 4-H youth development, health and human sciences, and community development. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Comments or questions, Commissioner Revere?
I have none. This looks wonderful. Thank you.
So we look at this every year. It looks the same every year.
Yeah. Really appreciate the hard work that you reached out to the community. We just got a report today on this, so it's really nice to see those numbers that reflect that. But really do appreciate it, and I sent back a note. You had a question about Citizens Academy, so I sent back a note. I'm gonna send another one because I'm not sure it got here. But we do want to have that conversation about Citizens Academy, and it's something that I think can grow over time, and it's been a good program. So I look forward to talking about that.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. All right, any public comment on this item? You can raise your hand. Teams are coming to podium. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the Purdue extension with Purdue University for 2026, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for your patience today.
Thank you, Commissioners. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you. All right, next item, please.
Move approval of the Community Justice and Mediation Center with CJAM and MOU.
Second.
Oh, I didn't finish reading, sorry. Fund name, Live Special Purpose, Fund number 1114, in an amount not to exceed $32,000.
Second.
Thank you. Perfect. All right.
Morning, Jeff Hartman, Monroe County Juvenile Probation.
Neighbors' actual health and lives. They've said that they have received calls from residents saying that they want people evicted for their own comfort, rather than considering the actual health ramifications of evicting people in the winter. People who just got to these camps a few days ago, people who have been there for over a year now, expected to carry all of their possessions by hand, by foot, which is impossible in this cold. To what location? People don't even know. They also gave a blatant lie that they have enough shelter space for everyone. We all know that that is beyond like any reasonable statement at all. So, anyone who is in this room, I expect that we hold our ground and demand that they put a stay on this decision. No matter what, no matter how much they may try to push through this meeting, no matter how much they try to steamroll that demand, they have not given any valid reasons for having this eviction in this winter, nor have they given any comment on the health concerns that we have raised at all and that people are experiencing on the ground. So anyone in this room, we are going to hold our ground no matter what until they make that decision to stay the evictions.
I'll speak behind you because I'm not going to speak in front of you, but the lies told by the commissioners are apparent. I spoke with Brian Giffen, the head of Bloomington Homeless Outreach, 2 days ago to ask about shelter capacity. He said it was critical, a critical mass. There are not beds as Lee Jones would have you believe. The shelters are full. There are not resources. These people do not have cars. They cannot drive to where their possessions are, held by the Highway Commission miles away from RTA. Cops are not bound to SB 197, which requires them to help relocate homeless folks within a 5-mile radius. These services have not been offered. A notice given with 7 days grace is technically by the letter of the law, but within 2 inches of snow, lack of thermal protection via clothing, and lack of resources, a move is not possible. The social services and Health Net do go out there. I spoke to representatives from Health Net as well, who are ardently, generally against camp clearings, especially in the dead of winter. Why? Because we have seen a pattern of death and destruction. We work actively with folks missing fingers, missing toes, and losing lives. This is not some conjured up spook fest. This is the reality of people living outside. I implore you, bundle up as warm as you can, put hot hands in your gloves and your boots, and stand outside for 1 hour and watch that heat fade from your body as it's ripped from your chest. And then stand for another hour, and then another hour, and then another one, and understand the reality of people who will be forced into that for how many days on end.
Standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be pardoned, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be.
Go ahead and attend to the rest of the.
Can you all tell us when they will address the public comment? Is there a forum where they do that? When are the public comments addressed?
Will you vote on staying the eviction until spring? Yes or no?
You're not robots. You have the ability to answer the question.
Will you vote?
And hopefully feelings. I think when is a fair question.
We're asking where your structured forum for answering the public comment is. We're asking for how you do that as the county commissioners.